What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Hardworking Happy Hour. I'm Sean.
And I'm Catherine, and as always, we're breaking down all things trades, entrepreneurship, and turning your creativity into a passion career. Good morning, Sean, on what is the second day of your 36th year on this planet. How are you feeling?
Oh, first off, good morning. Second off, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling really good. 36. It's a little
36.
old.
It's your late 30s.
It's a little old.
Yeah, it's pretty old.
I knew that you were old, but now I feel it as well.
Yeah.
Because you've been 36 for what, like 3 months, 4 months?
Something like that.
A
Yeah.
while, actually. Wow. My Lord. Yeah, it's no, I feel great. I feel great.
Good.
I still feel like a child at heart. I still act like a child most of the time. But I feel good.
That's amazing.
I know.
I feel
Even
like
the
it's
way
all
I said that
downhill.
just seemed like kind of like a desperate plea. Like,
Same.
I feel great.
Same.
I feel great. I still feel good. I don't feel old. I don't feel old at all.
Yeah.
No, I feel good. I feel good. It was a great birthday. And yeah, just I'm looking forward to 36. I think it's gonna be a great year.
I was when I turned 36, I was like I like 36 sounds old, but I don't feel old, and nothing is really like making me feel old. I still feel very young. Until somebody pointed out that like our 20th high school reunion is like just right around the corner, and I was like, oh, 20 years. It's been 20 years since we were in high school. Okay, yeah. That'll do it. That'll make you feel pretty old.
Yeah. Wow. Thanks for putting that out there.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'll have one extra. I'll have one extra year until my
Yeah.
20th reunion
Correct.
because you're older. But man, but hey, we all got a lot of life ahead of us.
And aging is honestly just a privilege because some people don't get to do it. So
That's true. It's a great outlook to have. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this year. The one thing I really feel like I got to prioritize my health and exercise and eating right most of all.
in a healthy and balanced way, right?
In a healthy and balanced way.
Yeah.
As you know, I'm not very much one for moderation or for that type of balance. It's usually I'm going hardcore one way or the other. I am going to be working out every day and I'm going to be eating right, or I'm going off the rails in the other direction and I'll come in and say, yeah, last night I ate 2 whole pints of ice cream.
Right. Yeah.
So I got to rein that in. Because as I get older, it's tough to stay in shape and feel good all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm
Our
trying
bodies,
to
they're a
enact
temple.
that. I'm trying to enact that moderation as I get older, and hopefully I have the mental fortitude to do that now that I'm 36.
You do.
It's always been there.
You're
It's always
gonna
been
do it.
there inside me.
We
Thank
all
you so
believe
much.
in you.
Thank you so much.
So what are your goals? What do you got? What are your goals for your 36th year?
Oh,
on
am I
this
supposed to
planet?
have some? I don't know. I guess
Yeah, think of something.
stay alive till I'm 37.
Okay. Good
Okay,
start.
that's number
Good
one.
start.
Yeah. No, really, it's I think we were kind of talking about this yesterday. I need to have I feel like for the last several months I've been eating a lot more healthy and having a more healthy outlook on it. I'm realizing more and more, 10, 15 years ago, I could just start working out for a month, lose like 10, 15 pounds, get in great shape. It doesn't work like that anymore. Not at all. Like, not even close.
No.
So I really have to start taking like my diet more serious, just so that I feel good every day. Not so that not trying to get ripped here. I'm not trying to win any strength competitions. I just want to feel good and kind of prioritize that. So the main things I've been focusing on are just eating in moderation, which is really difficult for me. It's not my default mode.
Mhm.
Exercising regularly, not getting down on myself if I don't go to the gym every day, but trying to be as consistent as possible, and then stretching. So, uh, that always makes me feel a lot better. That's probably the
Yeah.
most instant impact for me is, getting a good stretch in because
Oh
my
my gosh.
God, the, the, the body's like a rubber band. And
I
if you let that rubber band get dry rotted, it's going to snap. So you got to keep it pliable.
feel like
Anyway,
stretching is the most annoying thing because it is so easy to just sit there for like 10, 15 minutes, really get a good stretch in to start your day. You're gonna feel it feels good. You're gonna feel so much better. And yet I almost never remember to do it. I'm like,
yeah,
why don't I just do it? Like it's so easy and it would make like everyone should do that. Everyone should start their day by just getting a good stretch in,
yeah.
especially in like a career like we have. Like you're up and you're doing stuff, get a good stretch in first thing. But man, is it hard to remember?
It's not harder. It's hard to just, it's hard to sit down and like do something that's not engaging, you know? Like
Oh,
it's
I
easier
love
to
doing
work
things
out.
that are not engaging.
Yeah, but it's still like you think that you love doing that, but then you try to do it and you like, then you start looking at your phone and then you're just like, all right, well, now I got to do the next thing I got to do because I just wasted all my time. You know what I mean? So it's difficult, but I'm trying to have a better outlook on that. So that's probably my biggest goal for this year. Just stay consistent with things, be more a voice and being of moderation.
Amazing.
Thank you.
What
Appreciate
a
that.
reasonable, mature
I
36
know.
year old goal.
I know. It's just I know that the goals can't be too lofty because I'm too old to achieve them. So just has to be, hey, eat my porridge and be in bed by 6 p.m. every night. Like the old
Yeah.
man that I am. So,
We were
I-
making fun of you on site because you were going to dinner at 4 o'clock yesterday.
well, it's
She's really committing to
yeah,
that role.
it worked
Love
out and it
that for
was
you.
great, and
I'm glad. I'm glad.
and it was nice, but it did make me tired afterwards. Did make me tired, but anyway, it's not my birthday anymore, so
All right.
moving on.
Moving on.
Um, yeah. How's your week going? How's your week going? We're on a new it still feels like a new project. We've been there
It's
for
not.
what's it still feels like it. It feels like we haven't been there too long,
We've been there for
and
like 3 weeks.
I know, but usually that's when we're just kind of getting our stride. I
Mm.
feel like we're really getting super close to finishing this. We are
We are, yeah.
I don't want to say wildly ahead of schedule, but we're pretty ahead of schedule on this one. And
Hmm.
honestly, I can't remember the last time this happened.
I feel like we're so ahead of schedule that I keep thinking, like, what are
Or
we forgetting?
forgetting about like, oh, there's a
Oh,
second deck somewhere else.
yeah.
Oh no, we've been at the wrong house this whole
Yeah.
time. No,
Because I was thinking about that the other day because you kept saying to the homeowner, like, hopefully we'll be done by the end of the month. And I'm like, by the end of the month? That's a good bit away. Like,
yeah, we're gonna be done
I
before
can't,
that, I
yeah, I
think.
can't imagine it's going to take that long.
Yeah,
What are we forgetting?
yeah, and
It's a
that
cool
was
feeling to
even.
have.
I know it's very strange, very foreign feeling. Um, yeah, it was originally that like it finishing it by the end of October was initially I thought kind of a lofty goal. Like we were really gonna have to push to hit that goal. And I think we might be like a week ahead of schedule. Plus we added some things. I
That's
went kind of
pretty
willy-nilly and
crazy.
added some things. So it's a pretty crazy feeling and I do have a couple uh I've got a couple reasons why it's happening that I want to kind of reflect on and make sure we always dissect our losses, you know. Well, when we mess things up, we say, okay, this is why this happened. Let's try not to do that again. Here's what did happen that's going really well, and hopefully I'm not jinxing this by talking about it, but let's dissect what's going really well. Why are we ahead of schedule?
Okay. Love that.
Why?
Well,
Why
I
are
don't
we
know
ahead of
why.
schedule?
Because I wasn't there for 2 of the 3 weeks we've been there.
That just came to my mind right now. That's probably it. So, um, yeah, I don't think that's it, but I do have a couple. a couple theories about it. So, um, the way I'm saying a couple theories about it, it seems like this is something that's so wildly out of our control. It's unknowable. Unknowable how to run a business and estimate things
Uh,
correctly. But um, here's what I've been trying to do. I feel like with all of this, anytime we run behind schedule, we have delays. I feel like it always is my fault. Like there's something that I didn't do well enough.
Now,
Um,
hang on. Are you doing that thing where you just take responsibility for everything, or do you genuinely feel like
no,
it is
I
just something that
genuinely
you've
feel that.
done? Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
it's usually something hasn't been planned out enough. Something wasn't ordered in time. Something wasn't, could be a million different things, but usually it always comes back to me. I feel like in a realistic way. Sometimes things come up and it's not totally my fault. There was, it's hard to control, but most of the time that we run over or there's unexpected things, I can honestly look at it and say, you know what, there's something I should have seen here. There's something I should have done differently, and a lot of that falls on me with the planning. So I was trying to be very diligent with this project in particular. We're kind of coming off of that sort of like break that we felt by working at my house, building the shop. So it was able to give me like a new kind of vigor, a new perspective, and the biggest thing comes down to the planning. It comes down to having that initial plan in place, rock solid before you start. Um, and I'll just kind of go through a couple of things that I did slightly differently for this project. So, does that sound good?
Yeah, love it.
Does that sound good? I'm not getting any feedback here.
Go ahead.
All
You're
right, all right.
you feel like you're on a soapbox right now, really giving a.
Well, it's
I didn't know
I
where you're
think
going
it's
with this. You didn't tell me, so go ahead.
okay. I didn't. Um, because I feel kind of proud of myself because this is one of the hardest things for me is staying organized and staying on track. And um it always starts out with you have to have that initial like first week plan before you get on site, before any unknowns can really pop up, having all of those things really dialed in. And that was something that I really tried to make sure I thought through all the different things that we would need, the equipment that we would need on site, the dumpsters, debris removal, all of that stuff being on site right from the get go, so that our first week could really just run out of the gate and we could be firing on all cylinders and get everything going. Sometimes, we're kind of behind schedule on a previous project and we're rolling right into the next one, and it feels like we haven't had that time to prep, to really like think through all the things that we need on those first couple days. And we're just like, okay, we're showing up and it takes like a couple days to get acquainted to the new site, and you're getting in the swing of things. So that was number one that was avoided with this project. I thought through every single thing that we were going to need and had the time set aside before we got there to make sure I had the dumpsters lined up so they were going to be in and out, and we could really be efficient with a machine rental for one day on a skid steer because we had a ton of demo to do. We had to sort out bluestone that we were going to be keeping, bluestone that we were going to be getting rid of. Had to get a concrete dumpster just for the concrete and stone. Had to get a couple dirt dumpsters just for the dirt that we're removing. So there was a lot of moving parts in those first couple of days, and we had that really set up really well. And despite the rental machine breaking down twice, everything went well, and we stayed on track, and we had our helical piles installed right when we anticipated them, and we were able to just get a good start on this project. And this was a big demo. This was a lot more demo than we typically do. It was stone. It was heavier material, so we had to rent that skid steer. So I feel like all things considered, that part went super well, and it got us off on the right foot, which is super important. You know.
Yeah.
So you weren't there for that, were you? Or you were there for the first day
Yeah.
before you went to Italy?
Yes.
So that was, I think, obviously one of the most important things was getting started on that right foot. And next thing that we did a little bit differently was when doing the material takeoffs, really dialing in what exactly um, each piece is for. What's that? What's so funny?
You put in the Google Drive for this project like very itemized uh like lists
Material
of
takeoffs?
yeah, like
Yeah.
but like and what it was for and everything. And then when I got back, you're like, look at it, look at it, look what I
Yeah, and
did.
you were
And
like,
I was like, it was great. It was so good. I was so proud of you.
no, you didn't say that initially. You're like, what? I saw this, and I'm like, no, I got another one there for the decking. So one of the things that I've noticed that can really start to get confusing, can lead to, um, more delays than are necessary, are not really dialing in the material order and what each material and length is for that we're going to be using on site. So there's a lot of different ways that you could go about cutting up things for stairs or for all the different elements in a project. Clearly labeling like why you ordered, say you need 10-foot lengths of something, but okay, I ordered this many 20-footers because I'm anticipating we're going to cut these in half, and these boards right here are for that. So these 20 boards all get cut in half, and we're going to use them over here on this 10-foot section. Like little things like that. A lot of times I can think through in my head, I can write down a material list, I can order it, and then everything just shows up on site. And maybe the first day it's pretty easy. Everyone kind of knows, okay, yeah, these boards were installing over here. But once you get down to like all the little details, like, all right, we need to wrap these posts in the same material. So what boards here are for that? Because every single time we're on a project, we've run out of certain things and it's like, oh, well, we use those non-groove boards for this part over here when really we were supposed to use groove boards. So having the material takeoff um, really organized in a way where you can not only have all your totals so that all the material can get there, but you can break down, okay, these 10 2x10 joists that we have, these are for this specific part. So everybody knows on site, it's in the Google Drive where everything's going. And we've just had a lot of delays and inefficiencies by, using not the wrong material, but like the wrong length, something that it
Yeah.
wasn't ordered for. And
Hmm.
then it's like, oh, well, we already used up all those 20-footers when really we could have used a couple 10-footers here. Now we need more 20-footers because this part over here, we can't use two 10-footers. So
Yeah.
little things like that. I really tried to set aside the time to clearly label everything on the material order and every part of the project so people would know this is for this is for that, and it keeps everything moving and keeps everything organized because I just talked about how that first week can be kind of difficult to organize like what's going to happen on site. It's kind of difficult to organize what's going to be happening on site and have everyone super efficient from day one, but it's pretty easy to on your first day that you're really chewing through materials, like on framing day, it's pretty easy to know, okay, we have all these 2x10s for this.
Hmm.
We're running joists. It's when you get into like the smaller details that you can start chewing through materials and then everything kind of gets squirrely and you start running out of everything and you have extras of some stuff and you don't have enough of what you need in this area. So it's like that second phase of the project where you have to have a good plan going in and then you have to like stay dialed in and make sure as the project's going you're assessing what's there, make sure everyone's on the same page with, okay, this is what we're going to be working on today, tomorrow, this week, and here are the materials and here's how they're laid out in the backyard to use them. So not only starting with a good plan, Sorry,
You okay?
my allergies are horrible today. So really just starting off with a good plan and then continuing to reassess while you're on site and make sure that you're staying like at least 2 weeks ahead of whatever materials you're going to need and what's going to be happening. So that's been something that's a little bit more difficult, is kind of stepping back when I'm on site and anticipating, okay, let me step back out of what's happening right now and label out in my little calendar, kind of just write out the tasks for the next 2 weeks, and that'll cue, okay, we need to make sure that we have this material here. Like staying organized and staying on top of it is has been great on this project, and we're seeing the benefits of it.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
I have a question because I wasn't there when we got any like deliveries for this job. When you set up the job site, did you set it up like how you organize like this is for this and this is we need X, Y, and Z for this? Did you organize the job site like that as well, or was it just on the list that you had?
A little bit of both. It's when it's the way everything's going to be packaged. Some stuff is going to be in the same pack, and something you need might be on the bottom of, how it's going to arrive on site. But having that list and being there on site for the delivery, me not just kind of thinking it through, creating the overall list and ordering it, and then it comes and shows up, like, but having it broken down so as the delivery driver gets there, he's like, where do you want these? I can pull it up and look and say, okay, those 6x6s are, they're all for just roof posts. We don't have any posts on our footings, so the beam's just going to go directly on the piles. We're not going to need those for a while, so we'll put those over here. We want things that we're going to be using right away. Okay, yeah, there's those 2x12 20s. All of those are for our beams, and that's going to be the first thing we use. So let's make sure that is right here in front, and we can grab it. It's oriented in the direction that we're going to be installing it, so we just pick it up, move it as short a distance as possible. So that was a lot easier because you never know exactly when that delivery driver is going to show up. But whenever they do, I can pull it up, and I don't have to like scramble mentally to say, oh, okay, yeah, oh, I forgot we're getting those. Just put those over here. It's like I can be calm about it and pull that list up and say, okay, yeah, the plywood, all that plywood, it looks like, yep, 20 sheets. Okay, that's not going to be till after decking's on. So let's put that kind of all the way in the back, because we're not going to need that. So that was really helpful, and we were able to get almost everything really close to where we were going to use it.
Can I challenge you to something for our next
Yes.
job?
God,
So
yeah.
access at our next job is going to be very difficult, as well as storage.
Yep.
It's kind of on a hill. They've got like
Yep.
this moss field they don't want us to
Mess up.
mess up.
Yep.
Access is going to be very difficult. I think beforehand, when you make this very detailed list, all that kind of stuff, we make a diagram of the yard, where to put things, and put them in piles of like, this is day one stuff. These are the things we're going to need these for that other little offshoot in 2 weeks, but we're going to keep that separate so no one uses this specific set of 2x4s or whatever.
Yeah.
These square edge boards, we can't touch those until we do the bar, so make sure to put those separately. So maybe we make a diagram of the yard, create where we're going to put things in piles, and take your organization of these lists one step further.
So hold on. You want the next job to run efficiently as well? Is that what you're saying?
I would like to try.
I
Wouldn't that
need
be
like
cool? Wouldn't it be cool? Two jobs in a row?
I need like a month-long project at my house where we just kind of mess around
Do whatever.
to clear my mind to get ready for that. No, so I think that's a great idea. Kind of try to step it up a notch a little bit, because the logistics are going to be a little bit more difficult on this next project. But it's a bit of a smaller project, so we'll have less material, which will make that doable. But this is the time where we're going to see, okay, were you just efficient on this project because you had a month to mess around at your
really
own house, and And is it just going to fall back to the norm of your chaotic, scattered brain where you just are leading everyone into chaotic battle every day? Or are you going to be the general that you know you can be and continue this onto a second project? We're at that time right now where we're getting close enough in this project. This is going to be the make or break time.
Yep.
We got all the finishing details on this project.
Pressure is on.
Pressure's just it's crushing me. That's why people get shorter as they age, because the way the world's on you, it's difficult. This is the time. This is all that stuff that I just talked about is a difficult thing for me to do typically anyway. Just the way that my brain works. But it's still the easier part. Now we have all the finishing details on this current project. Plus, now is the time that I really need to start making these lists for the next project, because in a couple weeks we're going to be there. So I need to make sure we have that material list. Make sure one of the things that's really helpful is just like going through the entire project piece by piece and kind of identifying what are the things that I need to make sure to be ahead of. Lumber, I know I can just order that. It's going to come probably next day or even same day. Decking, same thing. But you go through that material list and you're like, oh, this thing right here, this could cause a delay. Whether it's, it could be something different on every project, but making sure that you identify those things and say, okay, we need to be extra ahead of this part because that is going to put us at a grinding halt if we don't have this when we need it. So now's the time that the jobs are meshing together. We've got end of one project, all those finishing details, beginning planning phases of the next project. Now it's go time. It's go time.
It's go time.
It's go time.
That was great. That was a very good self-reflective.
You think so?
Analysis. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, and there's going to be so many people that listen to this. They're just like, you need to just outsource this stuff or delegate all these things that you're not good at. A lot of that's probably true. There are a lot of things that probably could be delegated, but also the most efficient way, I think, to really go through this process. I'm the one that's designing the projects. Mm-hmm. I don't want to outsource or delegate that. I love that part of it. That's fun. And there are little details about how something's going to look or be put together that are really hard to show. And, when it comes to those finer things, it's really hard to show that fine detail in a rendering or in a plan. So I'm the best person to, for one, it makes me go through all these little details and make these decisions on how that exact finish is going to look, which I want to be the one making those decisions. Right. And by going through the material order and going through piece by piece, it makes me have to look at everything and make those decisions on, what exactly is this post wrap going to look like? What boards are we going to use to get this detail that we want? So I'm the one that's in the best position to do that. And it's the thing I love about the job the most is the design. And I think the most efficient way is for me to also do all the takeoffs and be able to make these lists and this kind of master plan for the project. So that's why I don't want to delegate it. If we were trying to scale a volume business, I absolutely should delegate that. But we're in this niche business. I'm really in the best position to do it. And I need to be the general that comes up with the plan for war,
Yeah.
So I don't know why I have this general thing going. But
You're all tuned up about it.
I'm all tuned up about it. God. I feel like I'm about to ship off to basic training or whatever, boot camp. Anyway, so that's it. That's my time to self-reflect. It's just what else? Hold on, I had one other thing too, and oh yeah, okay. This could also almost be a whole nother topic that maybe we'll save for later, but I'll just touch on it briefly. Um, I feel like one thing that has been super helpful for me, to kind of realize some of these self-reflective moments is you were on vacation for 2 weeks.
Mhm.
I had to do a lot of what you typically do.
Mhm.
So it allowed me to like really have to look at things from a different perspective or of just things that I haven't done in a while. Like you typically do all the posting on all the socials, all that kind of stuff. And it was like really helpful for me to like it gave me a new perspective to be the one that sets up the post, that posts it, that thinks of the caption, that puts it out there. All of that stuff, like it put me back in that, you know, that view where you get to see it from every day. And it just allowed me to like, think about things and get more in touch with um what is our brand? What is our, because a lot of the things that I do when I'm out there either building or planning the project, I need to make sure that it translates from that very first decision of what this design is down to what post goes out, like making sure that we have that consistent voice and what the priority but is behind that. So like just getting to do that again for 2 weeks was like it just hyped me up and made me more aware of, the better we are planned ahead of time, the easier it is to make this content, the easier it is to like have stuff to talk about. And it just, that part just kind of invigorated me a little bit. And like, just, it's always nice, I think, to just see things from another perspective or do a part of the job that you maybe haven't done in a while and you kind of forget what it's like. And
Mhm.
just could be like digging holes, They forget what that's like. And then you're like, man, everybody else is just digging these holes every day. Um, so yeah, that and now Steve is on vacation, and I'm editing this vlog for this week,
I know. You've been
which has
really
been
jazzed up about that.
it's been a lot of fun. It feels like um, and it feels very fitting that it's this week because it was my birthday, and it makes me feel so young again. It makes me remember those good old days where you know I could just stay up all night editing, and I didn't need to sleep at that time in my life. I could just
Mhm.
work all day. I could edit all night. I could just be so locked in at all times. There was no distractions. Um, it was, I obviously can't do that anymore. And I love my life now. But it's fun to go back to that and like remember that and like, get back in touch with that because um our video content really is like that's the face of our company. You know what I mean? That's the thing that everybody sees.
Yeah.
And it's I feel like I need to be on my game to make the content fun and engaging. You know what I mean? When I'm on site, like if he's filming stuff that's just boring and like I'm being boring, it's really hard to edit that into like a fun, exciting vlog. It's been really helpful this week to like as I'm working, I'm thinking, how would I edit this? Like what does this look like? Why am I saying this? And it just gives me better footage for me to edit because I'm thinking about that. So it's been helpful
Yeah.
to get into that mindset. So like, you know, sometimes I'm Steve's not having a lot to work with. I mean, like last week
Poor
he
Steve
edited
is
something.
he's doing his best.
Last week he started editing, we watched like the first 10 minutes of the vlog and it was like just me talking the whole time. And I was like, every time
And not in a
you
fun,
were
jaunty way like this.
no, just in a and like I don't know what was wrong with me. It was like I was like, was there any time you were filming me that I didn't just immediately start talking the whole time? Like this is unwatchable. He's like, no, honestly, like you were talking so much. Like even when I was trying to just get B-roll shots, like you were just talking. And it was like this this sucks and I'm sorry because I there's not much you could do with it. I've ruined this. this is like nauseating to hear my voice this much. So now I'm doing his job this week, and everything's just so interconnected, and it's really helpful for me to like see it from everybody's perspective, and um in the end it helps me be better because there's a lot of things that I really suck at and I need to be better at, and when you get a chance to do somebody else's job, um it can make you be more aware of the things that you're doing that really suck. And I don't mean that in a self-judgmental way. I mean that in just I'm very open with myself about things that I suck at. And I can just say, like, with last week's video when he started editing it, it's just like this video sucks and it's all because of me. Because what I was
Really?
giving you here to work with is horrible. It's nauseating. Why was I talking so much? The only blame that you have here, Steve, is you didn't think to say, "Hey, dude, shut up. Shut up. This is horrible. You're making me sick."
Oh man.
And then you even had, just really dig that knife in. You're like, "Well, now you know how we all feel."
Yeah, I did say that.
Yeah. But I don't
Yeah,
say that in like in a self-judgmental way. It's just like I was being that is horrible footage. This is terrible. This is so bad.
yeah, it
It's
was bad. But you
unusable
were
basically.
trying, and now you know. Now you know.
Yeah, I was trying I was
You've
trying
come
too
back to
hard.
the right.
I was trying too hard. So now that I'm editing this week, it's like I need to have a little bit of that kind of mental space anyway. Like, give him something that is editable. I'm giving myself basically alley-oops this week because, like, you're filming it, I'm talking, I'm thinking already about where it's going to go into the video, how it's going to be like, okay, well, after I do this, like, this will need a transition. So, like, let me think of that. I'm giving myself alley-oops here,
Mm-hmm.
and lately I haven't been giving Steve much. I've been throwing the ball as hard as I can right at his face and expecting him to hit the game-winning dunk. And I need to be a better passer.
Yeah.
So
So it's good to do these other people's jobs and realize
yeah,
what goes into everything. All
yeah,
these moving parts.
yeah,
We make a great team, but sometimes we need to be reminded of what makes things work.
yeah. I'm just laughing because it's kind of like um it feels a little bit like Undercover Boss, like where like it's like the CEO of Subway like goes to the restaurant to like do the thing. Like, it shouldn't be that hard for me to stay in touch with what's happening in our little shops. Like, I learned
You
some
put it
little
like that.
story about you, like, oh my God, like rescues cats. Wow, this is amazing. Then we sit down in like a abandoned warehouse for that final shot where I'm like, well, look who it is. It was me the whole time, and I can't believe all you do for this company, and they really like to save cats, so we're gonna give you $500 for a cat. I love that show.
Do they still
So
make that show?
I'm not sure. It's like so aggressively bad that it's just great.
It is pretty funny.
So okay, well that's enough of the self-reflecting time. And I think it's really helpful for me to do that, and you know, I think I'm really good at being hard on myself in like a non-judgmental way.
Yeah,
I can just default
that's
and just
healthy.
say I'm horrible at everything. I suck at everything. And
Yeah, that sounds great. That sounds
we're
super
just gonna
healthy.
operate from that. But there's these couple things I'm really good at, and I think the more that you can just say, yeah, I basically suck at everything. The more that you can say that in a non-judgmental way and like not be like hurt by it personally, like, yeah, I do suck at most things. Most people suck at most things. And most people can't accept that
True.
and
Yeah.
just say like, there's like probably like one thing that everybody's like way above average at. You're like, maybe I have like a little bit of creativity that's like well above the average population. everything else, like, I pretty much suck at, and most people suck at most things. So be able to be honest with yourself in like just a real way, and you're going to be better for it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it in like a self-hatred kind of way. It's just, I do suck at most things, and it allows me to evaluate things a lot easier.
Yeah.
Something to
That's
think about.
healthy.
Doesn't sound healthy, but I feel like it really is. So, all right. Well, that's all I got. Is
Great
our
job.
therapy session over? I mean, wait, we're doing podcasts. Okay.
I'm putting this out on the internet. I hope you're okay with all
What?
that. Yeah.
It's
Every
not
week.
legal. Private therapy session.
I'm not a doctor. You don't have a doctor-client privilege. Is that
HIPAA.
what it is? No.
I think that's.
HIPAA's different.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
I think
You have
what you're
like
talking about is
lawyer client confidentiality. You have
Yeah.
that with a doctor too, but it's different than HIPAA. HIPAA's just like a paperwork thing.
Oh, okay.
Anyhow,
Anyway,
unimportant, completely
unimportant.
unrelated.
This is going out there. Yeah, everyone's gonna know how big of an idiot I am. Oh God. But guess what, everybody? You're all idiots too. You just might not have realized it yet.
We're all just idiots. All right,
We
are we
really
ready
are.
to move on?
Okay,
We're
one more thing.
okay.
One
We're
more
running
thing.
out of time, so make it quick.
I know. You know, this really is like, I think it's important for most people to realize that they're idiots. And a quote that I heard a long time ago that really like it was very profound for me, and it's Isaac Newton. And people would say to him like, you are the smartest person in the world, like how do you see yourself? And he said that he sees himself as a child that is standing on the beach in front of the ocean of knowledge, and he is metaphorically just sitting there picking up a shell or two and saying like, wow, this is interesting. Like, there's everything out there. The world of knowledge is that ocean, and he's saying, as everybody else is looking at him, saying he's like the smartest person alive, and he's like, I see myself as just getting little bits. Like, he's so in touch with all the things that he doesn't know, and how he's not like the most intelligent person in the world, and that gives you that perspective to not be so prideful and be like scared to like make mistakes or say something dumb or do something dumb. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
So reminded me of that quote, and I really like it. So thank you, sir, Isaac Newton.
Yeah. All right,
Thanks for
you
Fig
ready?
Newtons. Did he make Fig Newtons?
I think
love
so.
those.
Yeah, that was definitely him.
All right, let's move on. Sorry, I just rambled a lot this episode, but I needed it, and I think everyone else needs
you had to get it off your chest, and we hold space for you here on the Hardworking Happy Hour.
Thank you, everybody. All right, what do we got next? Next? Oh, construction news.
Construction news. This is just going to be a quick little fun one. The world's longest construction project nears completion. After 140 years, the construction of blank will be completed, or is planned to be completed, in 2026. If you had to guess what they have been working on for 140 years, what would you say it might be? Of course it's a church.
Of course it's a church.
What else would it possibly be?
Yeah.
So yeah, they've been working on this church in Spain for 140 years. And I was thinking,
say it's church in space. That'd be crazy.
That would make more sense as to this timeline. But it's like, to me, that what could they possibly be doing that would take this long? But apparently it's this man's life mission to make this church.
Permitting.
They've been waiting on those permits. That's probably it.
Probably.
And there's it says, like, despite the years of delays due to financial issues, wars, and most recently the COVID-19 pandemic, it's like
they're even using that.
Yeah.
They're even using that.
You're gonna use wars and COVID? Like, come on, pick a lane here, bro.
Yeah.
And they want it to be done in 2026 because that is the 100-year anniversary of this person's death who planned this, lavish palatial basilica. But But even they're saying even that is a tight timeline. It's like what are you doing? That could possibly take this long.
I don't know. Do you have answers? How big
Just
is it? What is it? Does it look cool?
looks really cool. So
Oh, really?
let me. I don't speak Spanish, so I'm probably not going to say this right. But it's in Barcelona, and it's the Sagrada Familia Basilica. If in case you want to Google it, it is incredibly lavish looking. It looks. I don't even. It's so lavish. I don't even know how to describe what is on this building. It's just spires and
Oh, wow.
everything is really ornate. So, did you just Google it?
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
very
wow.
ornate. So, when you look at it, you're like, okay, I guess that could take some time. But uh, also, if they've been working on it for 140 years, that means that some of this stuff is 140 years old. You're going to have to be doing repair work. So then,
Yeah, they
is
probably
the
had to like
construction really done?
renovate like the whole thing before they even finished it.
Exactly.
This is insane. Yeah, this is crazy. I'm just gonna put it out there and be real. I'm not a religious person. I would say maybe I'm spiritual, but I had to go to my parents made me go to church growing up, and can't stand going. Can't stand going. I
Sour the
see something like
experience
this,
for you.
like you can help a lot of people, like instead of building this insane thing, like that's one of the things that just doesn't line up with me.
Yeah. That was what that was my immediate thought when I was reading the article about this because I was like, they spent so much money. And the only way that would make sense in my brain that would like follow a religious path for this is if they are employing like needy people to do this building. So then it's like a constant flow of helping people, like a constant flow
I
of
don't.
but I don't think that's the
I
case.
think they
So
need some pretty skilled workers for this thing.
well,
You're
that's
not
true.
just getting people off Skid Row to, hey, do you want to finish working on this basilica? How are you with hand carved marble? Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work.
That's true. And I don't think that's what they did. So that
Yeah,
yeah, I feel like with all this money that they put into this, you could have helped a whole lot of people.
yeah, but they're also saving on the taxes, getting those tax breaks. So,
Yeah,
hey,
whatever.
I'm not gonna be judgmental about it. It's pretty cool that at certain times throughout history there are things where budget is not a concern to just see
hmm
what's possible.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you see that in Dubai right now. Like they just
hmm
have like I don't know, hundreds of, you know, trillions of dollars or whatever. And they can just like be like, we're building a city in the desert and we're making rain and like I don't know, just whatever. Like there's no budget. And that allows you to just see what's possible and build the coolest things imaginable.
Yeah.
Um, religions have done that for millennia, just being able to build the coolest thing possible. So
Yeah.
it's cool that we've been able to do that throughout history, so we get to see these things. But it just does lead you to say, hey, that looks like an expensive project there.
Yeah.
Taking you about 150 years. Crazy, crazy.
Yeah. I feel like I'm at a real standstill with my opinion on that because I'm so glad that places like this exist. And when I went to Italy, we did go into a couple churches and I was like, this is absolutely amazing. Like just the ornateness of things. And I'm so glad that people take the time to put such beauty into the environment because if they didn't, everything would look like
Just
Soviet
drab.
era Russia where everything is just like concrete block building tenements, like, and there's no beauty in it and it's so depressing.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm glad that people do put this much effort into things. And I love when someone has like a life's work. Like this was this person's life's work and he died before it was completed. And like I love that someone committed this much to such beauty. I think that that's really such a cool thing for somebody to have. Um, but in this case, when it's a church, it's like
Yeah.
how much I want to see the stats on how many people you're helping because that's your whole thing. So are you really doing that? Or is it like,
I'm sure,
is it all going to this church?
hell, I mean, probably most of it, like, there's probably, if anything, not people being helped. There's probably a lot of people that died building this. Like, these things are incredibly dangerous to build, especially 150 years ago,
Yeah.
you know. But hey, it's pretty cool. It definitely is pretty cool. So hey, maybe I'll get to go there one day. Be cool. Check it out.
Well, Barcelona notably does not want tourists right now, so
Oh, why?
good luck on that. The people that live there are like really angry about tourists. They were like spray painting like "Go home tourists" all over the buildings in Barcelona. There was like protests about it. I don't know too many details about it. I just know those few.
Okay. I don't want to
But
go there anymore because not only do they seem rude, they're incredibly uncreative. Go home tourists.
yeah,
Obviously, like complete layup here. Leave us alone from Barcelona. You know,
honestly, yeah, it's embarrassing. But
this message is from Barcelona. Leave us alone. Come on.
oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, right.
You should let them know.
Go home tourists. Wow. Pathetic. No wonder why it took
Uh,
150 years to build this basilica.
yeah.
They just have no can-do attitude. Anyway, all right.
All right. Anyway,
Pretty cool. Look it up, everybody.
yeah, it does look really cool.
Sagrada Familia. Very cool. Very cool.
All
Okay.
right. You ready to be done, or we got something else
I
to
don't
do
think we
here?
have any more segments, so I guess we just end it right here. Now, type of finale. We're working happy hour trivia time. I'm ready to go. You ready to go?
I'm ready. Trivia. Okay. Let me check my notes. Sean,
Yes.
you won last week.
Ooh. What's the score? The running score? I feel like it's a huge mistake on my end to just leave this scorekeeping completely to you.
I am very trustworthy. How dare
Oh,
you?
you couldn't have forged that.
How dare you?
You're like, look, it's in all different types of ink and everything. It's obviously been written on over a long period of
No,
time.
I keep this pencil next to it so I can just keep writing on it.
And aka it's easier to forge later. Easy. Okay. All right.
Anyway, it's 3-4 me. But you
The
did
correct
win
way to
last
say
week,
is
so
4-3.
I do that all the time, and people
Yeah.
are always correcting on me. I don't care.
Yeah. It's really annoying when you do that, like with sports. Sarah does that too.
It's all
So I
scripted
guess
anyway. Who cares about sports?
It's 1-3. No, it's 3-1. You always say the higher number first, no matter what. Okay. All right. So what does that mean? I get to. I'll answer a question first. You ask me first.
Okay. Uh, true or false? That's when we start with, right? True or false?
Yes.
True or false?
Yes.
Concrete has a
Yeah.
fire rating. The fire rating of concrete, well, everything has a fire. Well, building materials have fire ratings.
Does fire have a fire rating?
I didn't look that up.
Okay.
Concrete's fire rating is 1B. True or false?
False. It's 1A.
Ooh. I don't know what to do here. It's
Well,
A1. So technically you're wrong.
well, it's just true or false. So I said false. So.
Okay. All right. All right.
All right. Awesome.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You got it right.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Yeah, I knew it was. I know, like typically they'll say. I didn't know it was like A1, but typically they'll say Class A fire rating, Class B. So I guess within
Yes.
those classes, there's different things. But concrete,
Correct.
pretty hard to light on fire.
Yeah.
So.
It just melts eventually. But
Oh, it
for
does.
like
Huh.
after a very long time. Like it's
Well, I think it's more high heat. Doesn't matter how
yeah.
long, but how hot it gets, right?
No, well it's both.
Okay.
High heat and time equals
Melt.
slag or whatever it's called.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. All right. 1-0. There you
All
go.
right.
Let's go. Okay. You've probably heard this before. But is it true or false
Okay.
that the concrete at the middle
Concrete again.
at the middle of the Hoover Dam is
Uh-huh.
not fully cured yet?
The concrete in
At the
middle.
center, the Hoover Dam. It's like
You mean like center, like this is the Hoover Dam in the center, or like within the walls, the center.
Like the furthest thing away
The
from air.
is not fully cured yet.
Yeah.
Mm. Well, I mean, on one side, it's just water, so I would assume that it's just constantly like
For reference, do you want to know when it was started, construction?
1929.
31.
Um.
Come on, give me an answer. True or
Okay. Okay.
false?
All right. All right. Wait. So true is it isn't cured, or true is
The
it is cured?
concrete at the middle of the Hoover Dam is not fully cured yet.
I believe that it is not fully cured yet because it's just constantly being re-wetted.
So you're saying true.
True.
Okay. No, it is false. It is
Oh, okay.
false. I feel like I had heard that over time, like, the Hoover Dam, it's such a massive amount of concrete that the middle is still curing. And
Mm.
initially, they did originally think it was going to take 125 years for it to fully cure. But that was using conventional methods, and they used some newer methods as they were building it, and it was accelerated by pouring it in sections and using cooling pipes.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
yeah.
Oh, it is cured.
So it is considered fully cured. It's hard to
Oh, it's
put an
fully mature. Good job.
accurate time frame on how long it took, but it is considered to be fully cured at this point. So,
What a fun trivia question.
yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, next one. It's
Okay.
1-0.
All right. This is since it was just your birthday and you love Frank Lloyd Wright, I was like, I'll do a Frank Lloyd Wright question.
Oh,
So
love
Frank
that train
Lloyd
of thought.
Wright
Yes.
studied under which architect? Walter.
Okay, it definitely wasn't Frank Lloyd wrong. Ha
Walter Gropius.
Okay.
What a bad last name. Louis Sullivan, Daniel Burham, or Philip Johnson. Do you need me to repeat?
Yes.
A. Walter Gropius. B. Louis Sullivan. C. Daniel Burham. And D. Philip Johnson.
So you got Johnson, you got Gropus, you got
Sullivan or Burham?
I think it's Philip Johnson.
Is that your final answer?
It is.
It's incorrect.
Okay, what is it?
Louis Sullivan
Okay, that was the other one I
was
was
Frank
leaning
Lloyd
towards.
Wright's mentor.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I have a Frank Lloyd Wright book right behind me here.
Oh, good for you for not cheating.
Yeah.
Referencing that book.
Well, it would have taken a while to. I don't even know if
Get to that page.
that's in it. Yeah, it would have taken like hours to read it and all that kind of stuff. Okay. Well,
right.
1-1 here. So my question for you: we have used in the past on our projects thermally modified wood. We're going to be using a slightly different product on this current project, thermal wood, and this is of the European lineage of that recipe of how they thermally modify it. So, thermally modified thermal wood, what heat temperature is it heated to during the thermal modification process? So we know it's modified by heat, but what is that temperature? Is it A, 430 degrees, B, 1100 degrees, C, 205 degrees, or D, 170 degrees?
We're talking Fahrenheit here.
We're talking Fahrenheit, yes. Great question, by the way.
Because I feel like when this was told to us,
it was in Celsius?
It was in Celsius, and I was very confused. I'm going to go 1100.
False. No, wrong.
Oh.
Do you think it would burn?
No. Because you need oxygen, and you'd take the oxygen out of the autoclave.
Oh. It's not in an autoclave, though. It's in a kiln.
Hmm. Well, one way of
Interesting.
doing it is an autoclave. One way
Yeah.
is the
Yeah,
kiln.
yeah. Good,
Okay,
great
what
thinking
is it?
there. Great thinking there. It's 430.
Okay.
I thought you were gonna think 1100. No, that's way too hot. But you're right. If there's no oxygen, it can't catch on fire. Great. You're smart. Okay. I didn't think of that. Even 430 seems like it would catch on fire probably. So I thought, kiln. I thought you were gonna go with 205 or 170. I thought they seemed more reasonable. Low and
No.
slow. But yeah, 430.
I thought it was very
I
hot.
was surprised that it was that hot. So
Yeah.
yeah, very interesting. Very interesting.
Hmm.
Very interesting process. All right. All right, go ahead.
Okay, last question.
Yep.
Steel is an alloy of what two components?
Oh, wow. Huh. That's a good question. Steel. How do they make steel?
How do they make steel?
You know what they used to call me? Mr. Steel Yo Girl.
No one called
Yeah, no one did.
you.
Uh,
Oh, delayed tactic.
huh. Two. No, I never thought of that. What is steel made out of? I would say probably it's two elements, correct?
Correct.
Like on the periodic table.
These two do appear on the periodic table of elements.
Oh God, it's so tough. I'm gonna say one. Can I go one at a time? One is iron.
That is correct. What's the second?
Second, ah, I'm gonna say tin.
That is incorrect.
Okay, can I get one more guess?
And isn't tin also an alloy?
I don't know. No,
I don't think tin is on the periodic table. Is it? I think tin's an alloy.
Yeah, okay. One more. Can I get one more guess?
Uh,
Magnesium.
Nope. Also
Manganese?
incorrect. Nope.
I don't know. What is it?
Tin. Oh, tin is an element.
Yeah, I thought so, isn't it? Hold on, let me guess the thing. Is it SB?
Oh, I do love doing that. No, SN.
Oh, close though. Okay.
Okay.
Iron and what?
Carbon.
Oh, wouldn't have guessed
Yeah.
that. Carbon, C.
Carbon's in everything.
Yeah.
And what's iron?
Iron is Fe. Yeah.
Good job.
I'm really good at this.
At one point, I was really good at those. I think I've probably forgotten most of them.
All right, well, so I got that wrong. You still have a chance to tie it up here. Okay, lumber typically comes in 2-foot length increments. You got a 2x4 8, 2x4 10, 2x4 12,
Sure,
all
yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Correct.
Pretty much across the board, 2-foot increments.
Mm-hmm.
One very, very common exception to that, what are called pre-cuts, used for wall studs.
Mm-hmm.
Pre-cuts are the one thing that you can get in pretty much every lumberyard, every Home Depot, Lowe's. They have it in stock. It's cut to a very specific size. What is that size?
9'6".
9'6".
Yes.
No.
I don't know.
No, you're wrong. No, you're just wrong. You're just wrong.
I don't know.
I was gonna give you a little bit of leeway depending on which way you went, but you're just wrong there.
I don't know.
In what
I don't build
houses?
Yeah, I don't build houses.
Yeah, this was a hard one. I knew that. So it's 92 and 5/8, or it could be 104 and 5/8.
Okay.
Whether you got an 8 or a 9-foot ceiling. So it
Okay.
basically accounts for
sense.
your bottom plate and your double top.
Love
So,
that.
Yeah, pre-cuts. There you go. Learn a little something every day.
All right, Sean. Congratulations. We are now
Tied up.
tied.
All right.
In the
All
long
right.
run.
Okay, well, that's it for this week, I guess. Starting off the year with a victory, which is awesome, and I feel like the biggest victory
Oh, the
that I have,
36th year. I was like, it's October.
yes, of
Took
my
me a second. Got it.
36th year. Yeah, catch up.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I feel like my biggest victory is really just being honest with my own self-evaluation, and I would encourage everyone to look deeply within themselves, do some self-reflecting, and be open to being honest with yourself. Key thing here is in a non-judgmental way. You know, you just need to be able to look at yourself and say, self, a lot of times I'm an idiot. And that's okay because pretty much everybody else is as well. And it puts you in a mindset where you can only get better.
True.
That's a great place to operate from as long as you're not being hard on yourself and feeling bad about being an idiot. You should feel great about being an idiot, and it's going to be the best thing for you. I promise.
True.
That's all I got. That's all I got for you. All right, well, that's it for this week. There was a couple topics I didn't get to, which was I had a whole thing about the Ninja Creamy.
Oh, yeah.
How that was really sparked a metaphor for me. We can get to that next week. And how building a construction company is nothing like playing baseball.
Okay.
So we can get into that as well.
Cliffhanger.
Really just
Cliffhanger
great
for
stuff.
next week.
Really great stuff. So thank you everybody for listening, especially to me ramble about my own self-reflecting. And we love you. And till next time, this has been the Hardworking Happy Hour.
See you next week.